You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Snap, the kick, it's been blocked again! Oh my! It's been blocked again! He's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyreek Cleveland! Oh my! I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw, pops and fires the ball over the middle. It's Dory! It's Dory! Got a touchdown! Dory's got a touchdown! Oh man! Dory's got a touchdown! Hands it off to Harvin. He comes back. Say goodbye.
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out a winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's your boy Corey.
It's Dan.
And your boy Jay Scott 25, all that good stuff. What it do, y'all boys?
Hanging out. Happy Memorial Day, man.
Yep.
Is it Happy Memorial Day? How do I say that?
I don't think it's happy. I mean, I think we can be happy for those that served, and certainly our thoughts and appreciation goes out to those that did die for our country and in protecting our country. My grandfather was at D-Day, so that's a really cool memory. He did survive. He's since passed away, but thank everybody that did serve. I know that's Veterans Day, but those that we did lose over the years and last couple hundred years, certainly appreciate your honor and your sacrifice that you gave.
Already, man. Yeah. Memorial Day.
Yeah.
How you celebrate? Enjoy
it
it.
is
I don't know how to say it, man. It's not Happy Memorial Day. I've been saying it all day and didn't feel right. It's like Happy Memorial Day. People looking at me a little strange, like, "Hey, bro, it's not that type
a
of
jovial holiday."
Yeah. But it was pretty chill, man. I went up to Orlando this weekend, went to Islands of Adventure with my girl's family for her little brother's. I was his graduation gift, I guess. Little quick vacation. We was at the Dockside Hotel. That was nice. Kids got to go in the pool and play around. Honestly, they enjoyed the pool more than the park, to be honest. So
how chaotic was the park this weekend?
it wasn't too bad considering Memorial Weekend, but it was still obviously a lot of people. Hotel had a lot of people, but I thought it was gonna be just jam packed. They managed to get on a lot of rides without like a fast pass or something, so it wasn't that bad.
That's dope.
I ain't getting on no ride. So
your kids did Disney yet?
Nah, not yet.
Okay. I want to see the reaction to the mouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna check them out. I feel like I gotta wait till it's a good age for it to be worth it. Like, I don't know. I feel like
remember it.
Remember
second mortgage trying to go to Disney with your family.
I'm telling you, and then you're gonna want to do it once you start turning the age to where you're really supposed to be going to Disney. So
you got to be old enough for them to remember and appreciate it, but not too old where it's like uncool to go. You know what I mean? It's tough, man.
I mean, I won't get deep into this bad, but it'd be some Disney fanatics out there with a Disney pass, and they just go like all the time. I just be like, bro, I don't know how you sign up for that vibe all the time. Like, I need that one every 3 years, bro.
Yes.
I do got to go back though. I may try to go back this summer. So I got this picture I did with my daughter when she was very little, and I redone it a few times, right at the same spot in Disney. So I do want to get back, man. Probably I may try to go this summer now, like randomly, just to retake that picture because I'm petty like that. I love memories and moments, so I may just go back and do that.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I mean, I haven't been to Disney a long, other than Epcot, to drink around the world a little bit. I don't know when the last time I went to Disney was.
I need to do that. I haven't done that. I heard good things about it.
Speaking about taking out a second mortgage, you'll need a third mortgage to drink around the world too.
Oh no, I just drink
nuts, dude.
Yeah, I can drink around the world at the crib. What'd you get into weekend? What'd you get into this weekend, Dan?
Oh man, it was a little bit of my innocence is gone on a Friday. I had a small little medical procedure, but other than that, recovered well. What did I do? Oh, went boating yesterday. A beautiful day to go boating. Probably the most boats I've ever seen at this one island over by Fort DeSoto in Bunce's Pass over there in the St. Pete area. But great day out on the water. And then today just kind of chilled out, man. Not a lot. Did some yard work. at the old girl's place, and just otherwise.
You doing yard work now?
Yeah, I have a second set of
work.
hands. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got voluntold pretty soon into this. Like, we got to water the plants. We got to set up this trellis-like thing for some new sunshade. We're pulling weeds. We're planting plugs. I'm like, man, I got this downtown place to avoid some of that. But no, I'm happy to help out. It's hot as the Dickens here in Tampa, though, right now.
Bro, it's that the summer is officially here for sure, bro. Like, my AC was not in game shape. You know, it's starting to get down to this weekend, bro. But it was not cooling the car quick enough, man. I ain't get into a whole lot, man. Just 3-day weekend. So, this is the last week of school for our kids as well. I don't know if everybody else's kids are out, but this is the last week of school. So we're looking forward to these last 4 days or whatever it is, man. But got out, did some working out with Junior, the sequel a couple times, and that was it, bro. Not a whole lot. I kind of forgot it was Memorial Day weekend until like last night. Got back to the crib and had a little conversation. I just realized, okay, tomorrow is off, and it really is a holiday weekend. But not a whole lot, man. I ain't gonna bore y'all with the rest of my life. No,
that's good. No, I want to talk about your. Let's get to the quick ad read. Then I want to ask you about your Josh Pate interview.
Oh yeah, okay. Shout out to the great folks at Brun Insurance and Financial Services. Anything you need insured, from Pensacola all the way down to the Keys, my man Greg can take care of you. Best coverage in the game. He's gonna find you the lowest price of anybody you're with. You could easily do this on bruninsurance.com, or you give them a call at 954-589-2204. It's absolutely free to get a quote. Brun Insurance holds me down on house insurance and some other things. Greg is locally owned. It's good to support locally, no tariffs on the local business. So, support Greg. He's a Gator. He's a Florida boy, and it's absolutely free to see if you can save some money. You feel me? 954-589-2204. Big coverage, big policies. Greg, what it do, baby?
Yes, sir.
We appreciate your support each and every week, Greg. Corey, you had the opportunity. If you haven't gone to check it out, Flow Factory did a sit-down interview for the start of season 2 with none other than Josh Pate, one of everybody's favorite college football commentators and analysts that's out there. Tell us a little bit about how that got set up, and obviously we'll tell everybody to go watch it. And we'll link it in the show notes as well.
Me and Pate started DMing each other like October, November last year. Just appreciation of content, creating conversations. Certain tweets I would tweet out, laughing in each other's DMs, just building a relationship. But the start of the conversation was, hey, I got to get with you to do some content, and we just been trying to align schedules. So around January, he hit me up and said, hey man, I'm gonna be down in Miami, actually Gainesville in Miami. So let's try to link at one of those spots. Gave me the dates. Miami just made more sense because it's an hour away from the door. Contemplated going to Gainesville because I didn't want to, first opportunity Adam, I want him. You feel me? Pause. You feel me? You never know what happened after Gainesville. Like, I got an emergency. I gotta go see my
something
mom.
Always happens with the car. Family member always gets sick. Yeah.
And this was on my like bucket list of conversations. I know like he was pretty high up. I just like dudes that can hold like really good conversations. He's one of those guys that could talk, he dumb it down, for the average fan. I think he gets into a lot of details, but through storytelling, jump into all the analytics, which is big and like big time, sports content. He don't really get into all of that. He get into some of it, but most of it is perspective, how he see things, and that's just my bag. So, a solid dude. I don't want to keep going on and on about it, but like, NDM, super supportive in person. How he comes across on the content is how he is in real life. We didn't record that thing till almost 1 a.m, bro.
Damn, I heard him say it was late. I didn't know it was that late.
He drove in from Gainesville, and I was just on standby. He's like, hey man, I don't know what time I'm gonna get in. We started sharing ETAs around about like 8-9 o'clock at night. And then we just like playing it by ear. But, I got down to Miami, bunkered down, just chilling. Whenever he pulled up, I had him some food ready, some Tap 42 food ready, ate, broke a little bread, talked, got to know each other in person a little bit, and then jumped right to it. He said, hey, man, I asked him, I said, you need notes? So I didn't get a chance to get questions over to you. He's like, nah, I don't need no questions, no notes. Let's just sit down the pod. So that's what we did, bro. Like, that was one take. No cuts, no edits. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out, man. I had a good time. Clinton Porter's interview is this week. Jordan's gonna be getting on the couch with me soon, man. Like, we down here in West Palm, you know what I'm saying? We got a align, but I want to get Jordan on the couch with me. And when I can't get anybody to sit down with me, pause. This sound nuts. I'm down to do it solo, man. I've been doing this a long time. That Pate interview was my first solo one, and it felt good. Pause.
Yeah, no, I think you did a great job. Everybody go listen. Flow Factory, start of season 2, Corey with Josh Pate from 247. All right. Well, we've got Chris Phillips waiting. Before we do that, though, actually, we'll just bring him on now. He's wearing the shirt, so we don't normally do 2 sponsored ad reads right here, but it makes sense because he's wearing the shirt. Go visit our friends over at Home Field Apparel, homefieldapparel.com. You can use promo code Stadium and Gale at checkout. We'll get you 15% off of your order. They've got football, basketball, baseball, softball, retro logos, all types of stuff. Go check them out. They've got the baseball pullover. They've got the jacket, although I don't think they're selling the jacket right now. Doesn't make sense. It's like 94 degrees out here in Florida. But go check them out, homefieldapparel.com. Promo code Stadium and Gale, all one word at checkout. Get you 15% off of your order. With that, and we do need to talk about our event, Corey. We need to talk about our event. We'll do that right after. Thanks, Brandon, for mentioning that. With that, we're going to welcome Chris Phillips, founder of SEC Unfiltered, to the show. Has been on the show many times.
Baby. Let's go. This for you guys. This isn't quite the home field. This is the Florida baseball hookup shirt right here.
Yeah.
This is the Gators baseball hookup. Yeah, this is the plug right here. No, what's up, guys? This guy's
closer with Kevin O'Sullivan than any of us are. I guess.
Yeah, I guess the cat's out of the bag after you go to the SEC tournament and get caught on camera. So yeah, I kept that one under wraps for as long as I could.
Chris, if everybody that doesn't follow, I'm sure you guys have seen him. Chris has been building his brand for a long time now. He just relocated to beautiful Nashville, Tennessee, to continue to grow his brand over there with SEC Unfiltered. Chris has always long been one of the best people to follow regarding SEC college baseball, and he's been around the UF program. He's been around a lot of the SEC programs, and was there in Hoover this past week, where the Gators did lose to Ole Miss in the second round. That is okay. They did clinch their 17th straight postseason tournament bid, where they will be heading to Conway, which is the Conway, South Carolina. That's the Coastal Carolina bracket, where they're going to face, obviously, Coastal Carolina, East Carolina, and Fairfield. Chris had a reaction video. He screamed, yes, yes, yes. For Florida Gator fans. So, Chris, break down a little bit about Gators baseball and about this upcoming regional tournament.
Well, yeah, first things first, guys, I appreciate you having me on. I was going to say congrats to Corey as well for the Josh Pate combo. I did see that all over the timeline, so really good stuff by you, my friend, and Jordan. It's good to see you as well. Dan, I know you're a bourbon connoisseur, so in light of the Conway Regional, this is Woodford Reserve Double Oak, because everybody should be having a toast because that was about as good a draw, I think, as Florida could have gotten. Yeah, I mean, listen, I was like sitting there watching it like everybody else and was wondering where the Gators were going to go. And, there's no guarantees in this game, obviously, but I think Conway is about as favorable as it gets. I think Bama kind of feels the same way with going to Southern Miss, going to the Hattiesburg Regional. But, yeah, man, I mean, listen, it's just a red-hot Florida team that, I think you could have been shipped off to Chapel Hill, or maybe they paired you up with Tallahassee for a rivalry showdown. But, I think anytime you're an SEC team, or maybe you're a Power 5 team, but certainly SEC team, and you're going to a regional hosted by a mid-major, all due respect to those guys, you feel pretty good about it, right? I mean, I'll take a rotation with Liam Peterson, Pierce Capala, and Aiden King against whoever else everybody else is throwing. East Carolina's a really solid program. Fairfield, I think, is a stingy 4. And then Coastal's been really good, but I mean, Coastal went head-to-head with some SEC competition this year and got beat, and that was in the midweek. So all things considered, like maybe there's no such thing as an easy regional, but yeah, certainly when I saw Florida's name pop up as somebody who is very selfish. I mean, I want all the SEC teams to get to Omaha, but very, very selfishly pulling hard for the Gators to get there. And even too with the Super they're matched up with the Auburn Super. I mean, There could have been much tougher draws that some of the projections had them going to Austin if they won, or had them going to Baton Rouge. Again, all due respect to Auburn, if it is Auburn that comes out, I think the path as a Florida fan, you got to be pretty ecstatic with, and it feels like too, this Florida team playing with a bit of house money, right? I mean, halfway through the year, and even talking to those guys when they were sitting at 1-11, I think we were all pretty nervous that Florida was Kevin O'Sullivan and company are going to miss the postseason the first time.
Some people were firing him on the timeline.
Yeah. It kind of reminded you of last year, right? Where, and of course, we were kind of in the same situation, a little bit different, but similar situation where Florida gets in as they're not a host and they make a run to Omaha. So you can never count out Sully and the boys. It's just, I talked to those guys, and even when they were 1-11, even with all the injuries, and I mentioned this to them, and I would put LSU in this bucket too, like what they did last year. It's just, I think when you have such a strong culture of winning, and you know what the expectation is, and the standard, like it's almost like there's no quit there. It's what you have to get to, what you have to do. I don't know if any of us saw them winning their last 6 SEC series in a row, but you can just talking to those guys, you can tell like that sense of belief and just understanding. The fans want to scream from the mountaintops what's the standard and the expectation. Nobody knows it more than them. Nobody was more pissed off than they were when they were sitting 1-11 in conference play. And I was nervous, but just started playing better baseball, used Mizzou as a bit of a springboard. And man, from there, just, got a couple guys back healthy. I think Liam Peterson coming back in the rotation and being that dude on Friday night, Aiden King turning into a superstar that I think we knew he was capable of being. But I mean, man, they're kind of playing with house money, because what Florida did down the stretch, to
first
be
time
shorthanded. Ever. Yeah, first time ever a team that, started 2-10 or worse makes the postseason. And, we went out to Florida's practice in Hoover, and I talked to Ty Evans, and, he simply put it to me, just like, dude, we're not healthy, but we are hot. So, I mean, that's it. We'll see if the Gator boys can stay hot. Yeah, we'll see if Gator boys can stay hot. But they're feeling good. I mean, I'd agree with you. Losing to Ole Miss in the SEC tournament, just kind of whatever. But you got to love the draw, man. There's a lot more difficult paths out there. So I think Florida got a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at the pathway, I think Florida probably either had to make the final game or win the SEC tournament to probably solidify that one slot there. But Chris, you were around the program earlier this spring when the team wasn't doing as hot. You got to chat with Kevin O'Sullivan. And then obviously you're a baseball connoisseur. And, we normally have Nick on the show. He's been out the last couple of weeks. He'll be back next week, everybody. But normally we get this from a Gator slant, right? The Gator baseball, Gator Diamond Pod has come on a few times. We get some folks that cover from a Florida perspective. So they're able to give their perspective as somebody that watches every game and is kind of plugged in from your outside perspective. And then in some of the conversations you've had with other coaches and, Kevin O'Sullivan and everything else, what do you think spurned going from 1-11 to finishing 15-15 in the SEC?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. So I was actually there for the Miami weekend when they took 2 of 3 and things were still pretty good, but that's when the injury started, right? Like that weekend that I was there, and I was a little nervous. I was like, man, am I the jinx or something like that? Because it was like one after another. You had the Cade Curlin, and then what was it, Kyle Jones, and then Pierce Capalla goes out on Saturday, and you're like, they're just dropping like flies. Yeah, I mean, I think you look at the 1-11 start and what happened. I mean, number one, I think the schedule was a little bit front loaded, but I think really what happened was, I mean, listen, the lineup 2 or 3 weekends in SEC play looks so vastly different than what it did on opening day or what they expected to look like. I think some guys just had to sack up and grow up a little bit, just talking to them. I think there were just some guys that had to kind of come into their own. Everybody's got that light bulb moment, no matter what the industry is or whether it's sports or it's podcasting or it's business or it's whatever it is. Everybody's got to kind of got that light bulb moment or a moment where like they meet an opportunity. You just have to rise to the occasion. I think just some guys, I remember after the Ole Miss series specifically talking to them, like it was a real come to Jesus moment for them, where it's like, hey, season's going to go one of two ways. Like we got a choice to make. We can either pack it up and we'll miss the postseason and we'll revamp the roster and it is what it is, or we can turn this season into something. And again, I just, getting Liam Peterson back was massive. I think that was a big deal. But again, a guy like Aiden King started pitching his tail off. I think Jake Clemente moving to the back end of the bullpen was huge for them because we all know about the pen struggles with, Philpott was very, very up and down. McNeely had his times. You lose your, and I forget his name, with the left-handed reliever. You lost him in the Miami series too. So there were just a lot. And then obviously at the end of the season, you're losing Colby Shelton. You lose Luke Heyman for the year, which is really unfortunate. hopefully Colby's going to be back for the regional. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I think guys just stepped up. You know what I mean? It's just guys just finally just said, hey, we've got to take it upon ourselves. Like this group of guys, it doesn't matter if we have 9 position players or 10 position players. And I know that sounds like I'm kind of oversimplifying it, but I think it really is as simple as that. Like some dudes just had to grow up and come into their own. And, you know, sure enough, I think you got to give a lot of credit. You know, give credit to Kevin O'Sullivan, obviously, but I think he'll tell you, you got to give credit to the players just finally just emerging into their roles and just started playing better baseball. I mean, that's really just no other way to put it. So you knew the talent was there. That's what made Florida so dangerous. Really talented club. It just, you know, early on, losing all those guys you lost, some leaders, I just, you know, you took some lumps and thankfully they came out of the other side of it.
Hey, Chris, we overcame a slow start to the season, overcame some injuries. Team's hot right now. Aiden King is my guy. I like that. I like his energy. I like his energy. Straight up dog. What on our roster, or just, you know, just looking at the region we're in, our bracket, what could be a hindrance, you know, either pitching staff wise, bullpen, whatever it may be, batting lineup, what could be our hindrance to making a run?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Florida, the bullpen depth probably still scares you a little bit. You know, I love, like I said, I love Clemente at the back end, but even him at times makes things a little bit, you know, I think back like the Texas series, and it's like you win the game, but he made it a little bit more interesting than I think anybody would have preferred. Again, Phil Pott has been very, very up and down. You know, feel good about it. And I think too, I'll be curious what Sully does from a standpoint of, you know, they're going to go Liam game 1. Do they move Aiden King up to the game 2 spot? Do they keep Pierce Capala? How long can Capala go? Does he give you, is he on like a 50 pitch, 60 pitch? Is it a little bit more of the pitch count? I'm sure he won't be anywhere like an 80, 90, 100, whatever, but sort of how they manage that. I love Aiden King's game 2. He's just a dog. I mean, they were talking about him before the season ever started. So they knew. I don't think they expected him to jump into the rotation as quick as he did, but again, just guys had to step up, and he was one of them. So the bullpen probably my number one concern. I mean, I think you're concerned, too, in these regionals. And, again, you're going to Coastal, you're going to Conway, it's manageable. But you don't get to this point unless you have a dude. Everybody's got at least one dude, you know, like even these 4 seeds. You know, I was talking to my buddy about the LSU regional, and I think they got a cakewalk, really, it feels like. But even the team they're facing, Little Rock, the 4 seed, apparently their number 1 throws like 99 miles an hour. You're just like there's just these random guys on these smaller teams. And I mean, give credit. Coastal was a really, really good team at home. And just, guys, it's baseball. Weird things can happen when you go on the road, especially in the postseason. But for Florida, for me, it's if the bullpen can be solid for them, if the bullpen can do their job, dare I say, pitching at an elite level, like I feel really good about Florida, because I think, dude, especially in Conway, they're going to swing the hell out of it. I think they're going to score a lot of runs. It's a very hitter-friendly park. And like I said, I mean, you know, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about Coastal, East Carolina, or Fairfield, but, brother, I'll put their starting rotation up against anybody in the regional. I mean, if we're going just toe-to-toe, dude on dude, who's going to be better than Florida in this spot? I don't know of anybody. So, yeah, I'd say bullpen would be my number one concern for Florida right now.
What makes it a hitter's park? Is it small dimensions, right field is short?
Yeah, I don't think it's like, you know, not
elevation.
Not that I would ever come on a Florida show and take a shot at Tennessee, but I mean,
we take them all the time.
No, not that it's.
I know you're worried about your safety now that you're in Nashville.
No, hey, listen,
we got you. I know some people there. If you need help.
I talk positively about Tennessee, and they still give me hell. So it's yeah. There's no point in walking on eggshells with those guys. But no, it's not a Lindsey Nelson. I don't know that it's really a Foley Field. I don't know that it's that small, but it just. Talking to people out there in Myrtle Beach, man, in Conway, it's typically a park where the wind blows out. And again, it's not the biggest park in the world. They got that one big wall, I think, in like left center or something like that. But it just is a park conducive to hitting home runs, scoring a lot of runs. So, and I think Florida will do that. I mean, again, if there's anything they did all season was swing the hell out of it. So, like I said, I mean, this, with all due respect to the staffs, the pitchers, the arms they're going to see in this, you just went through an SEC gauntlet of 10 straight weekends. Guys, you ain't going to see nobody in this regional that, you know, is anything you haven't seen. So I'd expect Florida offensively to show up. Again, the starting rotation. Like, I feel really good about Florida. We'll drop our official picks later in the week. But, again, there was a reason why I was so excited when I saw the draw for the Gators, because again, you could have gotten stuck in a lot worse regional. This one, I mean, if you're a Coastal fan, your heart just sunk when you saw Florida pop up.
All nine of them just started sobbing on Memorial Day.
Now your timeline's going to be held. They've actually got some fans.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be like 19 of them, not 9. But
yeah.
They got some fans out there.
They won't survive with us, man.
I'm wondering, is it going to be a Gator takeover in Conway? You think they're going to travel pretty well?
Oh, we travel everywhere, man.
Yeah,
Gymnastics, I think cricket. We don't care, bro. We'll show up to table tennis.
Yeah, I think with Florida having, a relatively large contingent, in the Carolinas and then in Atlanta, Gainesville's not too far away. Folks from Jacksonville, they're always looking for stuff to do on the weekend, so I wouldn't be surprised if they made the drive up.
Hey, funny enough, Dan, this is total side note. Speaking of people in Jacksonville looking for things to do, I've got a crew of my buddies from Jacksonville that are coming to Nashville this weekend. So funny, they're looking for stuff to do, man. They just nothing to do down in the old Jack's Beach, man.
Chris said it, not me. Chris said it, not me. How many SEC
Chris,
teams?
You can only go to Surf for the Bar so many times.
Dude, I'm a wanted man on Moncrief. Is that an avenue or a street?
I love those guys. I love those.
Chris is a wanted man on Moncrief.
How many SEC teams made it? Was it 9, 10?
13.
13. I was. Yeah,
it was a record. Yeah, they reset the record from last year. 11. I mean, it only makes sense. You had Texas and Oklahoma get 2 more, but what if I told you for the season 13 make it? Not one of them was the Aggies. Baseball's a weird game, man.
Preseason number 1, right?
Preseason number 1.
And now they might
fire
their coach.
From what I'm hearing, it's happening. Yeah, and they've got a guy already lined, like kind of in mind. So, yeah, I know that's kind of a side note, but Florida fans out there, buddy, just you got it really good with Kevin O'Sullivan. So don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted.
They fire Sully every year, Chris. Every year.
And then they come back like they never left. We got to start keeping
Kevin O'Sullivan is a terrible coach if you hate going to Omaha over 50% of the time. He's terrible. So
I mean, just 17 years
of seasons.
Yeah. Has anybody gone that many in a row currently? Like I know FSU did under Mike Martin. They won 22, 24 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to double check, but I have to think they've got the longest. I'd have to imagine Sully's got the longest by an individual coach. Like maybe there's a program with more, but I don't think there's a coach out there that's been more consecutively. I mean, I'd have to check. I don't know, but
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's impressive. So,
go ahead, Corey.
I feel good from a standpoint like entering the tournament like as a 1 seed that no chip on your shoulder. I like that we've been in like playoff mode since being 1-11, right? If you ever play like tournament baseball, like being hot matters. It's just like the NCAA tournament, man. So us just being hot right now, I think gives us an advantage. We're not gonna go in being in this bracket. You could easily take some of these teams as you big dog, a little come in with the I'm gonna blow this team out, or we're a bigger foe, and then you get beat in the tournament, because somebody come in hot and hungry. But we talented, but we also hungry right now, and I think that gives us an advantage for sure.
Yeah, Corey, I can tell you from talking to them. I mean, I'm sure they'd love to be at Condren Family Ballpark playing in front of the home crowd. It's always an advantage, but yeah, talking to them, I think they're fired up to be going on the road. I just think it fits. It fits, like you said, kind of the makeup of this team, and all this team has done all season long is fight through adversity. So it's like they're just feeding off it at this point. Like, give us more. Yeah. Like, we want more. We want to be the doubted. We want to be the, like you said, the chip on the shoulder. We got something to prove. I think there's that edge has really carried this team through the back half of the season. And so I again, talking to them right after the SEC tournament projections start coming out, they're like, hey, send us on the road. We love it. We love it. So I do think I think this team is, again, they're going to be – I would expect Florida to play loose, have fun, with a nothing to lose mentality, but also a we know what the mission is mentality.
Mm-hmm. I did look that up. Vanderbilt currently has the longest streak of 19 years in a row, then Florida 17 years in a row, LSU 13, Oklahoma State 12. And Chris, I will Venmo you $20 right now if you know who has 11 straight. This is live, so you don't have all day.
I'll go with
it's an obscure school. It's a Christian-based school.
TCU?
No, Dallas Baptist University. 11 straight years.
He had no shot. He gave you like
for the Pastors. Well, that's why, Chris, talk to us a little bit about that Auburn regional. From what you know, obviously, if the Gators win this regional, they'll do a super regional in Auburn. Tell us a little bit about that region.
Yes, I mean, you've got Auburn. I was really surprised to see the Tigers as the 4 overall national seed. I thought that was a little bit high. I think the committee gave them some favor because of the strength of schedule. Auburn did play a really, really tough schedule and fared pretty well in it, but they're the only top 8 national seed that had less than 40 wins. I know that was some pushback. They'll get Central Connecticut first game, and then Stetson and NC State, the other 2 teams. I was actually joking with a good buddy of mine, Jesse Simmons, who's a Gator alum who does the play-by-play for Stetson, that I was like, hey, we might get a Florida Stetson super regional. He was talking that'll feed families in Central Florida. No, but I mean, listen, I think Auburn's probably, and I'm feeling the same way. I think you got to really like the draw if you're Auburn. I think Stetson, obviously, people don't realize. I mean, I talk to people, the midweek baseball in the state of Florida is crazy. I mean, Florida doesn't play they don't play normal teams in the midweek. It is a battle every week. Like, Stetson's a really good club, 40-win club. NC State's a solid ACC foe. A little bit up and down this year, a little hot and cold, but a solid team. But I mean, I feel good about Auburn coming out of that right now. Again, anything can happen. We know there's going to be upsets. I think some of these you've got to really try to think outside of the box. But Auburn's been so good all year. They've been so good at Plainsman Park too. So, I feel pretty confident in saying that if and when Florida gets out of the Conway Regional, they're probably going to be going to Plainsman Park. But again, guys, I mean, compare that to you could have had to go back to Austin or go to Baton Rouge. All due respect, I'd rather go to Plainsman Park. So, I think Auburn got a pretty nice draw in their regional, but you never know. Maybe it'll be a Florida on Florida, Florida and Stetson. That'd be something, wouldn't it? But, I feel pretty good about the Tigers in it.
Awesome, man. You guys have any other questions? We'll let Chris get back to his evening. Chris, we appreciate you coming on with short notice, my friend.
Yeah, Dan, Corey, Jordan, always a pleasure. You guys do a great job, by the way. Keep up the great work, and best of luck to the Gators, man. We'll be watching closely.
We appreciate you, brother. Go follow Chris at SEC Unfiltered. Go follow him at CPhilly19 on all social media. Great dude. We appreciate it, man. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, man. We'll talk. Appreciate y'all.
All right, my God.
Is Nashville like the epic center of like just all college media or something?
No, the SEC is headquartered there now. They moved from Hoover up to Nashville. I think it's also a little bit more central. He was living in South Carolina. I think he was in Columbia. So I think to be able to travel and drive a little bit more, it kind of just a little more central for it. And like, it's a fun town, right?
Yeah, it's like a little hub. So I'm pretty sure 247 on 3. Like a lot of those guys, the college football media, they're hubbed up in Nashville. I'm just learning that as I go along this year.
Well, I think that's because they were founded by the same guy who's been based in Nashville for a long time.
That too.
There's nobody trying to create,
like in the same city.
Yeah, created Rivals, created 247, and then on 3, and then on 3 just bought Rivals or some sort of merger there. So
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I think Rivals is a bit of a shell of itself. It was the industry leader for a while. Then with 247 kind of pushed Rivals down, and then on 3 kind of pushed everything down. So
slowly taking over. You're around my time.
That boy Shannon Terry selling that re-rock, man.
Guy's loaded.
You just take it, put a little bit more baking soda in, and give it right back to the people.
Oh God.
Hopefully you don't know what Corey's talking about, but if you do, don't look it up. We want to announce put an E on this episode. So we do want to talk about an event that we're going to host with Dave Waters from Gators Breakdown and Shelton from High Top Sports on July 27th in Gainesville at First Magnitude Brewing. We are doing an independent Gator media day where we're going to do some live panels, combination of all of our pods, doing a lot of Q&A, doing a pod together. We're going to bring some special guests. We're going to work around getting some players and some former players out there. So go check them out, or go check the tickets out. They're listed on our Twitter page. And on Instagram, I believe you can visit our page, Gators Breakdown or High Top Sports. So tickets will be $25. We will have more details as they come. It'll probably be from about 1 o'clock to about 4 o'clock on that Sunday. So you guys can go back and enjoy the rest of your evenings wherever you're coming from. So hope to have everybody there. We're going to keep pimping this out. So go visit our Twitter page or X page for the link to get tickets. Again, $25, and we'll have more details about that soon. So again, July 21st, 1 p.m., First Magnitude Brewing in Gainesville.
Real quick, y'all come hang out. We bring in some more smaller platforms, no shots taken or anything like that, but some
growing platforms.
We want to network, bro. We want everybody to be able to use this event. For media people to grow, collaborate. Collaboration is very key, to a lot of things happening. I think the fans deserve that type of. We got a great fan base, and I think Gator Media, we all do a very good job. We all have our own lane. High Top does this thing. We do our thing. Dave does this thing. We're all separate. We all got our own style, but I think Gator fans enjoy all of this content. So, we thought of the idea about collaborating, us three, and then some of the smaller platforms. And we're going to have some celebrity guests, former players, national writers from On3 and 247. Those guys will come out as well. But we just collaborating, man. Make sure y'all come out. It'll be a DJ. It'll be music. It'll be, vibes. It's going to be a good time. Buy the ticket. It's going to be some players there as well. We're going to get some players to pull up, get some Q&As going. And also, if you can't make it, we're going to be streaming. Make sure y'all tune in, retweet, share it. Go to Dave's page, go to High Top Sports page, and you can buy tickets, man. All of it's one spot. So if you go to Dave's page, you'll find a link. You go to High Top Sports, you'll find a link, or Stadium in Gale. But, tap in. We're trying to do something different, provide the people a different type of experience of players, media, current players, former players, hanging out at First Magnitude, who has Spurious beer on tap. What else can you want, Jordan? What else can you want?
George muted. Whatever it does sounds lit, though.
Well, that definitely sounds like a vibe to me. I can't even lie.
Finna hang out, man.
We're going to have a good time. If you're watching on YouTube, I just put the link in the chat for you guys to go check that out. So again, July 27th at First Magnitude in Gainesville, Florida. Really cool event. We've already thought about the heat. We've thought about potential rain. All of that stuff has already been thought about. I know Gainesville in July is not, the number one TripAdvisor location to visit in July, but we got to figure it out. It's a good place to be and hang out.
We're gonna have some missed fans. Like we're gonna keep everybody cool. It's the inside, but the inside ain't that big, right? So, right. It's a very. If you're not familiar with First Magnitude, it's a big shaded area out back with bench chairs. They got a stage, which is perfect for a show. So yeah, we're gonna look out for y'all, man. Bring the family. It's a family event. Yep. So you can bring the wife, the kids, all of that.
What more can you ask for? You got a free pass to get a free doggy coin, fellas, to bring your family to an event and let them have fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, we
need to do some type of giveaway. Let's figure out
we'll figure out some stuff. And, there's a lot of stuff that we want to do. We want to give back. Again, we appreciate the Gator community. I think the Gator community, especially from a media and independent media, is one of the best in the country. I think for any school, there's probably no other school fan base that rivals the amount of options that you guys have and we have to listen to as Florida Gator sports fans. There are episodes that drop every day of the week. We kind of all spaced out. We're kind of all have our day, but we super appreciate Shelton and his team over at High Top Sports. Really appreciate Dave Waters and his teams over at Gator Breakdown. And then, us guys will be there as well. We welcome and we want to bring as many people that are in the space, desire to be in the space, to come join, hang out, network, learn and grow from one another. We want to use this as a time of fraternity more than anything. Right. So again, the link is on YouTube. It's on our X page. So go check that out. And we look forward to having you. More details as they come out. All right. So last Monday, we talked about Boogie Fland. We were supposed to have Jonathan Safir on last week, the assistant basketball coach. He's actually going to be joining next week. He is on vacation, I believe, this week. And so the Gators did land Boogie Fland, the transfer from Arkansas. to join the program, which was a huge get for the Florida Gators. We mentioned on the show last week that the Gators did not want him to leave town, not being committed. And sure enough, I think around 10 a.m. on Tuesday. So again, former 5-star, former McDonald's All-American, had entered and then withdrew from the 2025 NBA draft process. Played 21 games last season, did suffer a right hand injury against Florida, but he averaged 13.5 points, 5.1 assists, 3.2 rebounds during that time. Widely considered as one of the top players in the transfer portal. So he's going to join Xavier Lee and A.J. Brown, who also transferred as guards. And the Gators now just waiting on Alex Condon's decision and whether he's going to decide to go pro or not, and will otherwise. I know they're looking out for maybe one other guy. Ben Henschel from Australia is one of those names. The Gators may be looking to add one more player to this roster, but ultimately solidified, a potential another run for a national championship.
Yeah. I asked Neil Blackman on Logo talk about Henshaw. He's maybe out of money. Like if it's affordable, it's something he feel confident they can make it happen. But we spent a lot of money in the portal already. Boogie is a good get, bro. Like a guy that was healthy, probably be in the NBA. They sold him big on the strength and conditioning program, the offense, and how like they run a lot of things. So he's gonna have an opportunity to come in here. And I think for us to make another run, you lose Aberdeen, and everybody's a little upset because that's homegrown. To watch him leave Orlando boy to go to Kentucky, a cross conference rival, that was a sting. But when you look back on it, it was an upgrade. This staff found a way to upgrade. And I think he had a tie to Mike Miller, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, his agent.
Mike Miller does something on his
he was his agent.
Or his agent. There you go. So there was some type of connection there. I don't think this is all alleged in my opinion, but I don't think when we lost Aberdeen that they was lost to the fact that this is probably an option, is what I would say.
Yeah, no, this the baseball or the basketball staff, pardon me, seems to be a couple steps ahead of the game, truly ahead of the game. I know that this is something that they were always going to look out for, even if Denzel didn't leave. They were going to kick the tires. Does he come to Florida if Denzel's here? Probably not. But I knew that they were always waiting to kick the tires there. And you got to give huge kudos to Todd Golden, Jonathan Safir, and the rest of the staff and what they've done, Torian Green, in their recruiting. There's a reason he's called Portal God Todd, and once again he delivers. And so this is a team that's going to be very athletic. It's going to be a highly feared team. And if you look at the preseason kind of early projections, Gators somewhere starting the season in the top 4 or 5. So exactly where you want to be. Going to bring back this relatively current existing roster, and then you add in some pretty dynamic pieces in Lee, Brown, and Fland, and you get Condon back. It's hard not to think that the Gators might not be number 1 or number 2 to start the year.
Keep the future tweets rolling, baby. We're gonna just keep them future tweets rolling all the way to 2025, bro, nonstop.
I want to give Deidre's not here. She hasn't talked about Gator softball in the chat yet, so we're going to preempt that. Number 3 seeded Florida Gators are heading back to Oklahoma City, where they secured their 13th trip to the Women's College World Series, 5-2 victory over Georgia in Game 3. So congratulations to them. They will be heading to Oklahoma City in search of another national championship. So congratulations to them. And then do also want to give a congratulations to the men's golf team, who right now just passed through with a low enough score to secure a spot in through stroke play, and they will go into match play starting, I believe, tomorrow. That team is led by J.C. Deacon, who is in his 11th season with the Gators, and he's one of 5 finalists for National Coach of the Year. So be on the lookout for men's golf. They won the national championship a couple years ago. So Gator boys are staying hot in all sports, and Gator women are staying hot in all sports. So with that, you guys have anything else before we play what I think is going to be a fun game?
Yeah, I'm ready for my game. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Jordan's ready for his game. This was Jordan's idea, so we appreciate that. I mean, hey, I'm not trying to take any credit from you. Go visit GameTimeSidekicks.com if you want a cool cup like this. Jordan has one as well. A lot of great cups for you to choose from. There's the national championship one as well. So go visit GameTimeSidekicks.com. Use promo code Stadium15 at checkout. You get 15% off of your order. Again, that's GameTimeSidekicks.com. Promo code Stadium15 at checkout. Go support a Gator in Knoxville, Tennessee. So we're going to play a new game here, guys.
I just walk around this cup all the time, right? I just want to say this real quick. I take this cup with me just cause, man, the ops be everywhere down here in South Florida. So I need them to know, like, they ain't never seen nothing like this before at Miami or Florida State. So I just walk around this cup. If they say something greasy to me, I just put it in their face. Like, hey, bro, you ever done this? Have you ever seen your program do this in hoops? I don't think you have. Peasant.
Be gone.
But for real, true story though, y'all. I took my cup with me on vacation this weekend, had it in the car as a drive down. Literally, it sat through all the hot behind sun and being in the car. I went out to the car later when we went out for dinner. Still cold.
Still cold.
I'm like, it's no way in this hot sun. So it's gotta be a believer. They made me a believer today, y'all. So
elite cup,
boys, man. The cups are legit. Forget all the other crazy brands they be talking about. I ain't even about to give them no shout out on here. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
All right, guys, let's get into our pick'em for the day. We are going to play some position battles of some former Gators, and sometimes this is hard because the game has changed so much over the years. But we're each going to have, I think there's 10 of these positional competitions that we're going to have, and we're going to pick who we want at the helm at that position. With everything that we know. It's not necessarily today's game, just everything that we know. So the first one is quarterback, and we've got the second ever Heisman Trophy winner at the University of Florida, Danny Werfel, versus the third Heisman Trophy winner, Tim Tebow. Who are you guys taking? Just to give you an idea, Tebow 35-6, 2 national championships. Danny Werfel 32-5, 1 national championship. Danny Werfel has 10,875 passing yards, 114 career touchdowns, and minus 387 yards rushing, but with 5 touchdowns. Tim Tebow has 9,285 passing yards, 88 touchdowns, and then 2,947 career rushing yards and 57 career rushing touchdowns, which is still the SEC record for quarterbacks. So between the two of them, who are you guys taking?
For me, it came down to like what type of preacher you like. You can't go wrong with either pick, but it's like, how do you want this person to rile the team up, motivate the team? And Danny Werfel, like, I like Danny, but Tebow is more of the apostolic Pentecostal type of preacher. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get it lit. He's gonna rile you up, bro. Like the spirit gonna move throughout the building. Type vibe. So I'm gonna go with Tebow, man.
Yeah, I can't lie. I'm backing him with the Tebow, man. That's just I've met both. I love Danny. I met him a couple times. Great guy.
But
you really just Tebow's arguably one of the best players in college football to me
ever.
It's just tough, you know what I mean? Like, who can you put up against Tim Tebow? I mean, maybe we could have done like Danny Werfel, Kyle Trask,
right.
You know what I mean?
It is what it is. I got to go Tebow. I love it. 2 are great quarterbacks for sure, but my pick got to be Tebow on this one.
Yeah, I grew up watching Danny Werfel. So my mom went to UF, so we were kind of a Gator household. My dad went to Ohio State. But that's where I fell in love with the Florida Gators and Danny Werfel. I'll never forget, I wrote him a letter when he got drafted by the Saints, and he sent me back like 5 signed cards and everything else. Just a great dude, obviously off the field, and even better dude, kind of like Tim Tebow. It's hard to compare the two because they're both like, was seemingly relatively perfect human beings. I think Tebow is hard to pick against, right? But I think Danny Werfel for me is my number 2 if you put him up against anybody else. From the winning mentality, his accuracy on the deep ball and everything else that he did, especially in that offense, was just absolutely electric to watch each and every week. So that was an easy, I mean, it is, it's hard to pick against Teebs. All right. Okay. We got one that I think I know where Corey is going to pick. We've got Emmitt Smith versus Fred Taylor. Let's get it.
Jordan to go first. Jordan's the running back.
Well, hold on. Let's give a quick breakdown here before we do that.
Put me on the spot like that.
Well, you got a little second to think about it. Emmitt
This is
Smith,
your game. This is your game, baby. This is what you asked for. He's talking about
30. Hold on 1 second, George. Just so everybody knows, right?
Give me the stat line. Lay the stats out for me.
Yeah, just got to lay them out here. Emmitt Smith, 3,928 career rushing yards, which was the UF record at the time. 36 career touchdowns, 5.6 yards a carry, and 23 100-yard games. Fred Taylor, 3,075, 31 career rushing yards, 5.7 yards per carry. So relatively close. Fred Taylor, Emmitt Smith was an SEC Freshman of the Year. That was his big honor that he got. Fred Taylor was an all-SEC first team in 97 and obviously a national championship winner. So, Jordan, we'll start with you. Fred Taylor or Emmitt Smith? Notable Stadium and Gale alumni, Emmitt Smith.
Yeah. Dang, dog. Y'all put me in the tough bind here. But I got to go with my boy Freddie T, man. I know the boys not going to like me for it. You can rip me up in the comments, start it up. But I got to go with Freddie T. Bigger back. Obviously, Emmitt is Emmitt. Y'all about to do me in. Freddie T is that guy to me still. I don't even want to elaborate on it because y'all going to kill me. So I'm Freddie T. That's my pick. And I ain't talking about y'all, but my boys in the comments going to get me off this one. But I'm with Freddie T, man. I'm rocking while I'm rolling. Quick little story on Fred Taylor. I was in 7th grade. I don't know what he was doing in my neighborhood. I lived in Park East Plantation. He was at my community
down there. That's his home base.
Yeah, I ain't know that at the time. Obviously, I'm a little kid. I'm in Park East. I'm in my neighborhood in Plantation. We playing football. Man, we in the middle of playing football. They said Fred Taylor at the front by the computers. All of us little kids ran up there and ran up to him. I made that boy sign my T-shirt, and I thought I still had the T-shirt. It ain't had no more. I had a little white tee on that day. He signed my white tee. He was signing stuff for everybody. So Fred Taylor has always been a real big role model to me just off that instance. Like, I can't even really think of another NFL player or a college player I knew growing up that young or I actually saw in person. So obviously didn't have much time to go to games. Like, my people weren't buying no tickets to go to games. So that was a big moment for me. So Freddie T got a place in my heart. Pause.
And no, you even got to pause it, bro. I'm glad I didn't have to go. Like, I don't feel like I'm being a homer now. You feel me? Like, you like ease it. You ease the path for me, bro. You're a trailblazer. I appreciate you for being a trailblazer, man. Fred T. Y'all, that's the crib for me, man. I watched Fred play in high school, so that's my favorite Gator all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get into that conversation on another time, but Fred T is just game as well. Like, that shuffle step he has is second to none. Size, balance, speed. The only thing that stopped Fred from being one of the greatest NFL vets is just early injuries. Like, if he was a little bit more healthy, he had that moniker Fragile Fred. But if he was a little bit more healthier, bro, he already had that gold jacket. Emmitt Smith is the leading rusher all time. Let's keep it a bean, right? Emmitt Smith is a large reason that I'm a Gator fan, right? So, like, just keeping everything in perspective. But I was a little younger when Emmitt was running the ball. Like I said, I watched Fred at Glade Central. I watched him every year. Him, Riedel, Rutledge, all those guys, bro. They was demigods walking around in our neighborhoods, you feel me? So like, the way I view them is just a little bit different, man. So I got long-winded just to say Fred Taylor, bro. That 4.340 don't either, right? That 4.38, 6'1", 230 pounds of pressure.
Yeah. Not to take anything away from Emmett, I'm going to go Fred Taylor too, but not to take anything away from Emmett. And Rob, mentioned that Emmett was the only one on that team and they still couldn't stop him. Florida football back then was very different. He came to Florida just a couple years after they went defeated for the entire year, not undefeated, completely defeated. So just a few years after that, 8 or 9 years after that, Florida was starting to rebuild itself, during that time, but, dealt with a lot of controversy, a lot of issues, which ultimately led to Steve Spurrier getting hired. But Emmitt Smith was an absolute dog. Did everything that he did in 3 years in Gainesville. I know some people were upset that he wore the Georgia hat because his, daughter and everything else.
Reason he out of here. That's another reason he's out of here. Fred would never do that.
Yeah, well, Emmitt Smith did come on the pod, and Fred did not. So,
I mean, we still got time. We still got. we can make up for that, man. Like he left the pod to put on the Georgia hat, and we didn't get Junior. We got Kevin. We didn't get little Emmett. He went to Texas A&M and Stanford. Shout out to all of that, but
shout out to Stanford.
Never mind.
I don't think Florida wanted him. And so I'm going to take Fred Taylor too. Not trying to be mean here, but I just don't think that they wanted him.
I mean, I would like Derrick Henry alongside little Kevin as well. If and boot Adam Lane out of here. Shout out to Muschamp for that terrible decision.
Well, I want to ask you a quick. We're going to pause this discussion real quick. There's a lot of hate for Will Muschamp. Some of it very warranted. There's a lot of hate about Derrick Henry being recruited as a linebacker, and obviously he's had an illustrious career both in college and the NFL as a running back. Do you guys think, because I do, that he would be just as good of a linebacker as he would be a running back? Like,
for sure.
It's not a terrible take, to say, hey, like,
you'd be a real problem at linebacker.
It has Muschamp.
Derrick Henry's on the opposite side of you.
Has Muschamp ever missed on a defensive eval? Like anybody, if Muschamp say you're a defensive player, you finna go make a lot of money, bro.
Yeah.
That's facts.
What does everybody else think? In the chat on X, retweet, like it. But we got the Fred Taylor and Emmitt Smith. We all three went Tebow. We all three went Fred Taylor. Nothing taken away from Emmitt
real
Smith.
Quick. You say he's still mad.
Yeah. I
like that comment. I'm gonna give you the juice on this, man, because I was behind the scenes on this, man. You go check out
1 second, Corey. The comment is for people listening. I'm still mad that Muschamp didn't take Lamar Jackson,
right? And I was the leader of Lamar Jackson High. He was playing in Boynton High. He was a 3-star quarterback. Wasn't highly coveted preseason. Me and my guy Kev at the time, we got a hold word out that it was a kid from Pompano that moved, to Palm Beach County, and he was an absolute killer. Scrambling quarterback out of that mode, but that whole year I was going to his games and I was tweeting out live from his games like, this kid is different. Like, Florida needs to offer this kid. Florida ended up going after him later in the cycle, right? And it was down to him and Francois. This is me. Like, I'm behind the scenes on the insiders. Everybody like to say the insiders. So Florida goes out to Francois and gets the nod from Francois that he's gonna swip. And at hindsight 2020, you're saying that's dumb. But in the moment, Francois is a borderline 5-star quarterback that's committed to Jimbo Fisher. Yeah, he was one of them guys. So we got word that Francois was gonna flip. Chris Winkie, who had left IMG, flew back to go talk Francois out of flipping to Florida. That whole time we were flirting around with Francois, Lamar Jackson was ready to commit and be a Gator, but he could see what's going on. They holding him off from committing because they're flirting around with Francois, which he showed up with the Gator backpack and ended up committing to Louisville, but the kid wanted to be a Gator. We was flirting around with Francois. Francois sticks with Florida State. We get burnt. The rest is history. He goes on to win a Heisman, and all my tweets are still out there saying Lamar Jackson
off of some BS. Could have had a quarterback.
That's how it be though, man. Like, and shout out to Lamar Thomas was the guy that recruited Lamar Jackson to Louisville, Miami guy. So he just got wind of him, and most people wanted Lamar Jackson as a receiver. And Lamar Thomas was the only person at Louisville at that time saying, hey, we're going to bring you here. You're going to be a quarterback.
He said
and he know how to negative recruit. He's like, man, Florida don't want you. They want Francois. You might come here where we want you, man.
Come on,
So
you know they spilling that in this air. We ready for you right now. You gonna be our guy. They don't really want you. Or you not committed yet. And as a kid, you almost got to just take that because like there's nothing else behind that one right there. But yeah, that comment got me dead. He said, destroy my holiday.
It destroyed me at the time. It's like, bro, what are we doing? At the time, I still got the tweets. I'm gonna retweet them just cause. But at the time, we're chasing Francois. I'm just like, bro, like, what are we doing? Like, take this 4.3 40 quarterback that's making everybody look crazy. Of course, he's developmental.
Putting Lamar Jackson in the 2 times we went to the SEC championship to go play Alabama. Like, I'm not saying we would have blown them out.
You winning natties.
Thank you. We out there with. I love Austin. We out there with Austin Appleby, Luke Del Rio. Like, I love them boys. They're my dogs. We suited up together, but Lamar.
We got a little more. Let's call a spade a spade here, you know.
We felt your pain. We felt your pain, fam.
We all the way in the SEC championship with an average Joe taking a snap. I love them boys to death. So if we would have had a potential Hall of Fame quarterback behind center, who knows?
Man, listen.
Lamar Jackson at wide receiver and Derrick Henry at linebacker and an alternate under World Mush champ. You know what I mean? He might still be here. Who knows? All right. So originally we were going to do Percy Harvin versus Ike Hilliard for wide receiver. And then I knew you guys were going to all pick Percy Harvin because it's hard not to, just because he was more than just a receiver. And then you guys are going to say something about his ability to rush and how hard he was to tackle behind, you know, that first step and everything else. I'm changing it up on you. So we're going to do Ike Hilliard. It's same time frame. Stats are almost identical. We're going to do Ike Hilliard versus Riedel Anthony. So Ike Hilliard, 126 career receptions, 2,214 receiving yards, 29 touchdowns, 17.6 yards per catch. Riedel Anthony, also 126 career receptions, 2,274 yards. So 60 more yards than Ike Hilliard. Career touchdowns, 26 and 18 yards per catch. So about as even as you can be. Riedel Anthony versus Ike Hilliard.
I got to go with Ike Hilliard. That's what I'm rolling with. The stats are identical, but I just feel like that's my pick. I'm really not into depth with it, but I remember just the slightest bits of highlights that were showing to me when I was at Florida of Ike Hilliard and people saying he's a gamer and stuff like that. So that's the reason behind my pick. Obviously, these guys are both behind a lot older than me and before my time, but I heard a little bit of Ike Hilliard at my time at Florida. So that's what I'm rolling with for that pick.
Okay. A little more sure-handed, a little more vertical threat.
Right.
A little bit more vertical threat. Y'all almost forgot who 15 was, boy. What are you talking about, boy? Vertical threat. Riedel was crazy with it.
No, he was.
I mean, I think Riedel. I'm gonna take Riedel. I think Riedel. You get Riedel and some kickoff as well, right? He's just. I'm gonna be biased because I watched Riedel play in high school as well. You feel me? I watched Riedel play quarterback when J1 Sider. Let me tell you, this is how nostalgic it gets, right? J1 Sider gets hurt, and they have to put Riedel at quarterback, like to get us to the playoffs and early in the playoffs to J1 get back healthy, bro. This is like super nostalgic. This is my childhood. I was blessed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like Riedel is one of those guys, bro, that walked around the neighborhood like a god, bro. And I'm not into like man worshiping idol or anything, but that's just what it was when you're a kid. I watched Riedel return a 100-yard kickoff return, jump the stands, you know, the field, the gate. He run through the end zone, jump the gate, run over to the bleachers, you know what I'm saying, in Glade Central Old Stadium. Did something similar when he scored and blew a kiss at the Georgia girl. Like Riedel was just crazy. If Riedel was focused in pros, like it would have been a lot different. Riedel was just having too fun. Shout out to my guy Riedel.
He said he was having too much fun.
He was having too much fun. Like straight up, he was out in Tampa wilding out. Maybe if he went local, he could come on and talk about this. Maybe if he wasn't so local, close to the crib, it would have been different for him. But he was at Tampa, Warren Sapp. Tampa was hot at that time. Tampa's still hot now. Shout out to Dan. It's because of Dan out there.
Yeah,
that's right.
That view. But
So
Riedel, I'm biased. I'm from Belgrade, so definitely Riedel Anthony.
Yeah, I could
Stop
maybe.
and Pop was crazy though. National championship, Stop and Pop versus Florida State, legendary stuff.
Yeah, no, Ike Hilliard is probably a little bit more of a technician. I probably shouldn't have said a vertical threat, more of a tactician. Kind of your very prototypical. Riedel was a little bit flashier. Ike Hilliard went in the first round. Riedel went in the first round. Obviously, very, very close. All things considered, I'm going to go with Riedel because I think he was probably a little bit more fun to watch. Right? You mentioned a little bit of that, but certainly can't go wrong with either one. All right, we got Alex Brown versus Derek Harvey. So Derek Harvey, 20.5 career sacks, hell of a 2006 national title game and really that whole season. So 20.5 sacks, 51.5 career tackles for loss, 3 sacks in that BCS national championship game. Alex Brown, 33 career sacks, which is the UF all-time record, 47 career tackles for loss, 2-time All-American. So again, both very dominant players in their time. So Alex Brown or Derek Harvey?
I think I'm going, man. Yeah. Oh, I'm about to say I'm going Alex Brown with the Florida boy, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for like anybody that's had a shot, it would have to be like Javon Curse for me. But Alex Brown was just on a different strategy.
So Javon Curse versus Alex Brown. Who you picking? Alex Brown?
Yeah. I don't know. I may go to Freak. I like the Freak there. I like the Freak there. But if it's Harvey, AB, I'm gonna go AB just to stick to the rules. Alex Brown was on a tear like no other. That record-breaking year, and I knew every time somebody dropped back, they wasn't even counting pressures back then. But I knew at the minimum, like the quarterback was finna catch a whole lot of hell when he dropped back when AB was at rushing, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm going to pick Alex Brown too. Consistency that 1 year where he set the sack record, just an unbelievable performer. I loved watching him in the NFL as well. Whenever I had Madden as a kid, I'd always trade for Alex Brown when he was on the Titans. That was like the first thing I did. I don't know why. But yeah, no. So I'm going to take Alex Brown there. We got back to tight end.
Bears, I think, right?
Was it the Bears? Or I think Javon Curse was on the Titans. So the Bears, yeah. And then I would get Javon Curse too. Probably later seasons there.
Gators.
Dude, I was like Steve Spurrier on the Redskins. You know what I mean? I went and got Danny Werfel, Shane Matthews.
The whole Gator roster, bro. That was crazy.
Ike Hilliard, Riedel Anthony, Jaquez Green, all of them were on my team. It was nuts. All right, we're going to go back to tight end because we accidentally skipped that one. Ben Troop, 64 career receptions, 958 career receiving yards, 7 touchdowns, consensus All-American in 2003, first team All-SEC in 2003 too. Kyle Pitts, 100 career receptions, 1,492 yards, was a unanimous All-American in 2020 and won the John Mackey Award for the nation's top tight end. So you probably have a little bit more. They were also used very different, right? Different offenses and everything else to take that in consideration. But Ben Troop versus Kyle Pitts.
I'm going KP, man. I think y'all already know that. That's my boy. I don't know if I said. I think that was when I was on Flow Factory. I was talking about how me and KP met and how his first impression on me was. But I used to call him Peasy. He used to come in the weight room with his head all peasy, little skinny kid. He was my lifting partner one day. Coach Savage paired him up with me over the summer. And I'm like, Coach, what you doing pairing me up with this little dude? Like, because usually they pair you up with somebody of your strength. So basically, y'all boys would be like lifting around the same weight so y'all could be close to those weights. I'm throwing up 80s on the dumbbell incline. That boy going to pick up the 80s right behind me, skinny as hell. I'm like, what you lifting on? That boy got to throwing them up. I'm like, ooh, okay. You might be some. And he definitely was some. He was a special dude in the making, man. Obviously a very phenomenal pass catcher. Could also get down and dirty if he needed to. That's not his specialty, but he was strong enough to go in there and get his nose dirty if he needed to. So Yeah, I'm with Kyle Pitts on this one, hands down.
Yeah, it's Kyle Pitts by a landslide. No shot to Ben Troop, but Kyle Pitts was just different. You could flank him out, do some wide receiver thing. His route running.
It was impossible to cover.
Yeah, he really was.
So he was impossible to cover. He was too fast for linebackers, too big for the safety.
Covered. Yeah. It was just an impossible task. A better matchup, I think, would have been Cornelius Ingram, a healthy Cornelius Ingram. That's one of the biggest what ifs for me in Gator football is like, what if Cornelius Ingram never, tears the ACL? I think he goes on to have the type of impact that even Aaron Hernandez was having in the NFL. Cornelius Ingram was one of them dudes. But, yeah, Kyle Pitts, it's a shame that the Atlanta Falcons picked him up, man. But in college, he was Himothy.
That's a fact.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts blows away Cornelius Ingram. Obviously, Cornelius Ingram had that injury and everything else, but just everything statistically, Kyle Pitts. And now, again, a very different offense. The offense that they were running at the end of Spurrier and after he left with Ron Zook was very, very different. So it was not a statistical output that you would get from Ben Troop the same way you would get Kyle Pitts. I think, being awarded the nation's best tight end probably gives you that upper hand, but not to put anything down on Ben Troop. Obviously had a Tennessee Titan, had a great, NFL career as well. So I don't want to shade Ben Troop at all. Maybe we should have taken out some of these clear favorites like Tebow or Pitts. Maybe we'll put that on the here. We're gonna have a mid off.
Mid off.
You can't do that. I don't participate in the mid off.
What a debate about.
You have to have a mid off. Like,
I'm not participating in the mid off, man. These boys are big in real life.
Nah, he just saying after this it'll be more of a debatable kind of deal with picking two.
We're gonna debate who the fifth best person at each position it is.
Yeah, I see somebody said Hernandez too. I was thinking Aaron Hernandez, but I like Ben Troop too. But yeah,
hey man, I'm not taking Hernandez out of any conversation.
I'm still picking Pitts over Aaron Hernandez.
I'm not. This is not a court show. This is not a cold case show. This is not First 48. So we just talk about football. Like I don't have like whatever happened is I didn't investigate the crimes. I don't like just for Gator football or Aaron Hernandez. That provides him. I think the three-headed monster is Aaron Hernandez, Kyle Pitts, Cornelius Ingram.
Maybe, but Ben Troop also was an All-American.
Ben Troop was that guy though. No cap.
Yeah,
for sure.
I like Ben Troop in a system that didn't really utilize tight ends. Back when tight ends were really starting to get used more like they're being used now, Ben Troop was still an All-American. That's why we picked him, just because that's really all that you can kind of compare is statistically and then awards-wise. Ben Troop. But I would agree playing style-wise, Kyle Pitts, Cornelius Ingram, and Aaron Hernandez were all of much more of a vertical receiving.
Why not?
I'm sorry?
Jay Reed was good. Jay Reed is another solid one.
You owe me that Georgia game if I ever see him in real life. I know you got a lot of concussions, but let's rewind a few things, my boy. You owe me. You owe me for that one.
Boy, I owe some people a Georgia game too, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
All right, we got a battle of some Gator history versus some more recent. We've got at linebacker, we got Brandon Spikes versus Wilbur Marshall. Now, Wilbur Marshall played here from 80 to 83, and I know that we have a lot of listeners that are younger than that age bracket. Go watch Wilbur Marshall play, but let's run down statistically like we have everybody else. Brandon Spikes, 307 career tackles, 31.5 career tackles for loss, 6.5 career sacks, 6 interceptions. 4 of them were pick sixes, including a beautiful punt out of the end zone, a 2-time first-team All-American. And then Wilbur Marshall, 343 career tackles, 58 tackles for loss, 23 career sacks, 2-time All-American, College Football Hall of Fame member, and in 2007, ESPN put a list of the top 100 college players of all time. So this would have been when Brandon Spikes was a sophomore in college, as the 88th best player of all time. So Wilbur Marshall versus Brandon Spikes.
Like you said, I'm a little bit too young to know about my boy Wilbur. I see the chat screaming Wilbur, but I got to go with what I seen, man. B Spikes was that guy to me, so I'm rocking with B Spikes on this one.
Hey, you want to know if he a killer or not, Jordan? If you want to look like when you looking at old school players, you want to know like was this guy really a killer?
That
you look at his name. Is this name extinct?
He said it's his name extinct.
Is his name extinct?
I'm gonna go check out some highlights of my dog.
He's the last person named Wilbur on Earth. Nobody named Wilbur out there, man. He's the last one. Like I didn't like. He's over for me, but what I got to play with Wilbur on like the Giants was my favorite team on Tecmo Bowl, right? And him and Lawrence Taylor were just absolute animals on that game. So most of my Wilbur, Marshall stuff comes from my pops, him giving me game, but playing with him on Tecmo Bowl, like he was an animal. And looking at the stats, being a little nostalgic, looking at Wilbur's old film, I'm gonna go Wilbur Marshall just off of that, man. And his name is extinct, bro. Like nobody's been named that since.
I'm watching the highlights as we speak, so my answer may change. Give me a second.
Wilbur Marshall for me. I think Brandon Spikes was incredible. Love what he did. Love his energy. But Wilbur Marshall is, in my opinion, the best linebacker in Gator history by a pretty big jump, especially talking to people. I wasn't alive. He graduated college 5 years before I was born. It was just a twinkle in my dad's eye at the time. So, but the videos that I've watched, things that I've read about him, just an absolute specimen, a feared, what I would imagine Derrick Henry would have been like a linebacker. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with Wilbur Marshall, considered one of the greatest football players of all time, regardless of school. So I'm going to go Wilbur Marshall there. All right. We got Joe Hayden versus Janoris Jenkins versus Keywan Ratliff. So let me pull up these stats real quick. I should have done this earlier. But we got Keywan from the 90s and early 2000s, Janoris Jenkins and Joe Hayden. At one time, Janoris Jenkins and Joe Hayden played on the same team. So Joe Hayden, 218 career tackles, 8 interceptions, 34 pass breakups, was a consensus All-American and first-team All-SEC player in 2009. Janoris Jenkins, 8 career interceptions, 121 tackles, 25 pass breakups. He did start as a true freshman in the 2008 national title game. And then Keywan Ratliff there from 2000-2003, 12 career interceptions, 232 interception return yards, which is still the UF record, 35 career pass breakups, consensus All-American in 2003, SEC Defensive Player of the Year in 2003, and the single season interception record. Went in the second round. Janoris went in the second round. Joe Hayden obviously went in the first round. So y'all's pick. We got a shutdown, got a ball skill athlete, and then a turnover machine as our options.
I think I'm going with Jack Boy, man. I got to roll with Jack Boy on this one. People might hate me for that one, but I like Jack Boy because he's a dog. Obviously, Joe Hayden's a dog too. Amazing career in the NFL as well. Obviously, a great career at UF, but I got to roll with Jack Boy on this one. So I'm going to rock with the Florida boys and stay on that side.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Same era.
Yeah.
I think two of our top out of the 3 or 4 DBs, you gotta have like with them 2 and Lito. Janoris is from the muck, so it's gonna be off of my like normal radar. But I'm gonna go Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden's probably my favorite UF corner all time. I got the painting behind me. You can't see it right there. Him holding the Gator chain. Joe Hayden. Both of them boys locked down some absolute killers between Julio Jones. You had AJ Green, you had Ashton Jeffrey at South Carolina. They face absolutely big killers and that small DBs. They like them 6'1", 6'2". They like them like that these days. At 5'9" to 5'10", them boys was shutting down big 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" killers. What? So Joe is my guy. I like Joe, bro. Professional, came in, no shenanigans, just got straight to business, no off the field stuff.
Changed positions. He was recruited.
Came as a quarterback. Right.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was a quarter. I mean, he was just one of those do-it-all quarterbacks.
Urban Meyer was finessing him. Like, he thought he was coming here as a quarterback, but Urban
No. He was recruited as an athlete. They weren't sure if he was going to play wide receiver or defensive back. I was working the recruiting office, and they were pitching him on both. And then he came here. He's like, "Oh, by the way, you're."
Dan lied to the kid.
Probably. No, obviously a lot of great cornerbacks that have played here. Lito Shepard, CJ Henderson had a good, couple years here as well. Vernon Hargraves. Obviously, this is a position that Florida has been absolutely elite at for a very long time. In that debate for DBU, especially when you consider, just the cornerback group of what Florida's been able to create. But I'm gonna go with Keywan Ratliff. Just in terms of his ability to turn the ball over and everything else. You can't go wrong with any of them. Janoris Jenkins, I think the most athletic. Joe Hayden, probably the most sound. And Keywan Ratliff, probably the most explosive. So I'm going to go Keywan there. So we got one for each. All right. This is another one that I changed because it's hard. In comparison, comparing two different people is hard. And, when you look at different skill sets that they might have, I know what, people are going to immediately jump to. So we originally had Reggie Nelson versus Major Rec. And I know everybody's going to go Reggie Nelson there. So I'm changing it up. And I'm going to make this decision hard for Corey. So Reggie Nelson played here for 2 years, 9 career interceptions, 6 in that 2006 year, 98 tackles, 13 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, was a consensus All-American and a first-team All-SEC in 2006. Lewis Oliver, Reggie Nelson versus Lewis Oliver. Lewis Oliver, 11 career interceptions, 187 tackles, 8 pass breakups. But they did say that's
nasty work. Stat
tracking was very limited back then. Was a consensus All-American in 1988 and a 2-time first-team All-SEC in 1987 and 1988. So Lewis Oliver, probably your more physical, kind of always there type of guy that's kind of always roaming that you always have to fear. And then Reggie Nelson certainly had the range and ball skills. I'll never forget that one interception that he had where he just jumped the route and ran it all the way back. I don't know if he scored a touchdown, but just elite. So Reggie Nelson versus Lewis Oliver.
I got to go with the Wild Man. Give me the Reggie Wild Man Nelson on this one.
For the eraser? Wild Man. I've never heard him called Wild Man.
Yeah, that's what they do down here in Florida from what I knew. That was from what people called a Reggie Wild Man Nelson. He was out there. He was a ball hawk. He was a great player. So I'm rocking with Reggie on this one. Palm Bay, Melbourne type boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shot. You put me in a tough position because I got Reggie up there. Put me in a tough spot. I like the pickle that you put me in. But Lewis Oliver, 6'2", 200 pounds, just killer. From Belgrade, you know what I'm saying? So I got to put that out there, bro. Like, that was and all those guys, bro. Like, Lewis Oliver was a machine. A guy that broke his arm his senior year in high school, so he didn't get recruited. He actually walked on at Florida. Like, he didn't have a scholarship offer, so he came to Florida as a walk-on and turned into an absolute legend.
Did he?
And not just at Florida,
it does say that.
Dolphins as well.
Yep, where he was a walk-on.
Wow.
Walk-on. Yeah.
That's real. Yeah. I'm reading it right now.
Absolute killer. Like, decapitating. This is when CTE was legal. Like, you could really take somebody's head off.
He bet on himself.
So 2 different games.
I like that. See, I gotta go back.
Give me Lewis.
He that boy.
Yeah.
Man, I loved watching Reggie Nelson play. That was my freshman year of college. He was electric. With the dreads out, he just looked really cool. There's just something about the swag that he had. But again, Lewis Oliver, if you're not familiar, you got to go watch. Had an illustrious career with the Dolphins as well. But again, Lewis Oliver, especially at the time, was a guy that everybody feared. In the middle, running the ball, in the passing game, an absolutely electric superstar there, Lewis Oliver was. So I'm going to pick Lewis Oliver as well. I did think about, I know somebody mentioned Kenny Hawthorne, said Lewis and Jarvis. Yeah, I did look at Jarvis Williams as well. But again, I picked Reggie Nelson because both were All-Americans. So again, That safety tandem that they had, a lot of people talk about, Ahmad and Major, Lewis Oliver and Jarvis Williams combination is probably the best combination that UF has ever had.
Yeah, creme de la creme.
All right. And then finally at kick returner, we've got Brandon James. We already did Kewan Ratliff, so I was going to pick him. So we're going to change it up, and we're going to do – I already know what you guys are going to pick. Brandon James versus Kadarius Toney. So Brandon James, 1,371 career punt returns, all-time record. Career kick return yards, 2,718, all-time record. 4 career touchdowns, 2 in punt return, 2 in kick return. 2-time All-American as a returner and the SEC Special Teams Player of the Year in 2008. Kadarius Toney. Oh boy, these stats didn't run out well. So yeah, Brandon James versus Kadarius Toney, or Andre Debo, whatever. Doesn't matter.
It don't matter. It's all the same results, baby. It's all.
Yeah,
it don't matter, man.
On this one, I love you, KT. We still be on the duty going crazy every other day. If you see this, I love you, but I got to go with BJ, big dog. I mean, the numbers don't lie. Women lie, men lie. Numbers don't. You're a phenomenal player, KT, but he got you in that category right there, big dog.
I'll take Brandon James over. Just if we just talking college returners, bro, it may be 1 or 2 that I'll take over Brandon James, bro. If that,
Devin Hester,
Devin Hester, that's really about it, bro. Like in college,
anybody else
wasn't calling no fair catch. He'll catch it if a freight train is running down there about to smack him. He's gonna catch it and do what he do. 25, make that 25 cool before you wore it, Jordan. Brandon James was a great eval about Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer was good at finding special teams dudes. He was good on both sides of the ball with special teams, but Brandon James was lights out. Tennessee still hate to see him coming. If he come to Tennessee right now on vacation, they might lock him up.
And he was like 5'6" on a good day in cleats.
Yes.
On his tippy
I
toes.
want to see that boy
on his tippy toes, 5'6".
So he would just get hidden, and then all of a sudden he's gone. Brandon James. So fun little game for us to play. Let's give one final shout out for our friends over at Alumni Hall. Go visit alumnihall.com. Everything that you want. They've got the regional shirts for baseball. They've got the women's softball, obviously football, basketball, everything else. Go check them out, alumnihall.com.
Do that last one that Rob said, though.
Oh, yeah. All right. 1 second. Go visit alumnihall.com in Gainesville on Archer Road, or go visit them online at alumnihall.com. Felipe Franks versus Jeff Driscoll.
Give me Felipe. I don't know if you're waiting on me. Give me Felipe. Felipe.
Yeah, I was about to say, I guess I'm taking Felipe. I mean, I've seen what both can do. I'd rather roll my dice with Felipe, to be honest.
Yeah, Jeff was too timid here, bro. Like, he just never took the bulls by the horn. Like Felipe, even if he was wrong and he was like having a garbage day, he was confident about the trash he was about to do, bro. Like, he's gonna bring some positive. We about to win, even though we about to get smacked. It doesn't matter. Like, he's just leadership. Jeff Driscoll was passive. I thought he had skills to be a very good quarterback. Being called the next Tebow, I guess, didn't help as well. But give me Felipe, man.
No, and he had gone from a 0-star recruit to a 5-star, like in a couple of months. Yeah. And I don't think Charlie Weiss wanted him, right? They immediately recruited, Jacoby Brissett in the same class. They jotted both of them out on the field of the first play of the game because they didn't want to announce who the starter was. I don't know if Jeff Driscoll totally got a fair shot. I think neither lived up to their potential at Florida for circumstances that were beyond their control.
Still in the NFL.
Yeah. One's still a quarterback and one's a tight end.
Who, Driscoll? No, I'm talking about Driscoll and Brissett.
Oh, them too. Yeah. Sorry, I thought we were talking about Felipe Franks and Jeff Driscoll. I don't know if Felipe Franks still in the NFL. He might be.
He's still there.
He with Atlanta now.
Yeah.
Battling
Cash Money. He's one of Cash Money's clients.
Oh, very good.
He's not known.
Very good. All right. I want to read. Hey, you get him while you can. That league minimum, even if it's a league minimum, is still high six figures. So take that. He's probably making more than league minimum too. All right, I want to do this final read here from Athlon Sports. Every year, Athlon will anonymously talk to coaches about each of the their SEC competition. Here's what some anonymous coaches had to say about Florida. If DJ Lagway continues to develop and stays healthy, they're going to continue to improve. They don't have a killer at receiver, but they're solid at running back. Defensively, they're young, but they've got some guys in there that look elite. I don't know if they're that young anymore. But anyway, this is a massive year for Billy Napier. He survived because of changing politics of the game and his buyout. I don't necessarily believe that, but it ended up working out last season. If he can show positive momentum with this group and start competing for the postseason, Lagway and that offensive line are legit enough to bring back a true Florida offense. If they can continue to be in the hunt for a playoff bid and start scoring points like those old Gator programs, I think he'll be off the hot list for a while. And Lagway could compete with Arch Manning for best quarterback in the league, is what some SEC coaches told Athlon. Anything stick out to you?
Yeah, I like. I'm not even mad about the receiver comment. There's a lot of unknowns. Sturtevant, he's put up some solid numbers, but he hasn't absolutely just taken over and been a dominant receiver. There's a lot of potential. Eugene Wilson, Dallas Wilson, it's a bunch of guys. Aiden Mazzell. I don't want to forget anybody in that wide receiver room, but it's a lot of killers with a lot of potential. Tank Hawkins. I could keep going on and on. I don't think there's a lack. I think receiver is one of our strongest rooms. We're well aware of it, but the rest of the country isn't, and I think they'll find out this fall. But I'm not concerned about receiver at all. If they speaking that highly of the team and they think the receiver position is a weak spot, my God.
I ain't worried. Yeah. And I'm not even saying, obviously, a lot of those dudes in the room are improving, and maybe just one or two that are proven as of now, as we speak right now. But I just feel like we have an amazing running game. We got a quarterback that's in year 2 and he's comfortable, and he can also bring a running aspect to the offense. Offensive line is very solid. The receiver part is almost like I don't know how to say it, but it's just really easy to do. Like once the run game flowing and your quarterback comfortable getting sacked, thank you. Now we have one-on-one matchups with all 5-star receivers. I'll take that. They can learn how to catch 50-50 balls if you think they haven't proven to you guys yet. But I feel very confident in going into this season, knowing that the run game is where it's at, Lagway is where it's at, and the O-line is where it's at. Everything's starting in the trenches, y'all. So if the trench is not right, it's really not going to work out for you. And our trenches are more than right. So I feel confident going into this season. If our only downfall on offense is the receivers, I love that for us because we're going to run the ball down people's throat until they stat the balls. And then now we got fast athletes, one-on-one, 1v1 balls or 50-50 balls, whatever you want to call it. I'll take that all day.
I like all 5 of my receivers in one-on-one situations.
Pick one. That's all I'm saying. I
like all of them.
Maybe just because I'm a Gator guy, I feel like this.
Nah,
we shall see.
I'm a football guy, and I'm ready to slander Billy if he slips.
Any other dudes you can name the 5 receivers that will be playing on Saturdays.
I will
take that. I'll take that.
I like my 2 depth. I like Abrams. I like so many receivers in a one-on-one. Like verified speed is official.
I like our walk-ons too.
Come on.
I like our walk-ons too.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that room. I get the point, right? Like they are largely unproven, right? Like J. Mike has not really put up big numbers in his career. Eugene Wilson has been hurt back-to-back years. Dallas Wilson is still a freshman. Aiden Mazzell hasn't, I think that there's going to be a bigger opportunity for him this year. Hasn't really proven himself yet to the outsiders, right? And I think if you really look at Florida, you can see that it's there, but it's not been perfected yet, right? And then Tank Hawkins, TJ Abrams, some of these young guys, you just haven't seen much. So I get the point where Florida may not have a star looking into this season, but I guarantee you at the end of the season, Florida's going to have stars in that room.
A few. Mark me down for a few.
What, for real though.
But other than that, not much really said about Florida other than just kind of a wait and see. I don't think Florida's ever going to have that fun and gun offense like the one of those coaches was talking about, like the old Gator offenses. But I do think, if they can figure out some of the flow of the game a little bit more, not shoot themselves in the foot with some of these stupid penalties or these timeouts that they're getting that kind of interrupt their flow, and for all things that are holy, just no double reverses.
For real, we got too many good athletes trying to pull a double reverse and all that BS anymore.
I ain't mad. Try it this year. I got Vernell. I got so many people.
I don't even want to get into the
quadruple reverse.
Quadruple reverse. It's like 37 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we got boys. We don't need all the trick dick, all the BS. Like, we got dogs on the offensive side of the ball now. We should be able to line up and man-on-man run our bread and butter plays. And it's like, we busting inside zone. We busting outside zone till they stop it. And then we going to play action, roll out, lag way, boot, whatever. Big, deep over, or just a flat if they covering the over. And you must learn to stop that. And if you want to cover all that, Lagway takes off for 8 and gets us a postal first down. Like, it should be that point to a defensive coordinator is like, what am I about to do this week? And as weeks go by, we got, Eugene Wilson was that guy, but you got to respect Dallas at this time. And don't forget about VB on his little bubbles that he getting. Y'all got to honor that now.
So the boy's hairline look like mine. I need every defensive coordinator's hair to look like mine by the end of the season, bro. Like, you're going to pull your hair out because you ain't going to know who to stop. Like, everything you're saying is what I was about to say. You got to load the box, man. So from there, it's just pick your poison. And Billy just got to be able to put these boys in position one-on-one. It's going to come easy because you're going to have to load the box. Our offensive line is very good. They're going to be able to push stuff around. We're going to be able to lean on people with 2 very good, 3, 4 very good running backs that's going to fatigue you all the way to the fourth quarter. We can weigh you down. And then we got a running back that's heavy. When he break out outside the pocket, I don't want him just running over people, but your cornerbacks are not going to want to tackle this guy in the fourth quarter. Like, we're built to just lay on folks, bro. And I don't want to get too crazy, but this team is set up for a run. There's a lot of weapons. There's a lot of verified speed. Like I said, I like my receivers. If you want to go one-on-one on the outside, like Lagway, you better cover deep too. Like, your safeties, while you want to load the box, you also know this is a gunslinger over here that's trying to throw it to the end zone every play. Pick your poison. I need your hairline to look like mine. Every defensive coordinator. I need this shit to look like this, Jordan.
Trying to spy on Lagway because he get to taking off in a hamstring. Good. That's one less dude in coverage.
You don't even want to be the spy.
Yeah.
He's smoking like 240, bro. I don't want to spy him.
What?
You're a linebacker, maybe, but if you're a cornerback, safety, you don't really want to spy this big dude, man. All right, I'm done. Like, hyping the team up. What you got, Dan?
No, I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying. I don't need to regurgitate. And we're going to spend a lot of, I guess, next episode will be in June. So we're going to spend a lot of June, July, and August breaking down each position group. We'll probably do 1 position a week, maybe 2. But we're going to break down everything going into this upcoming fall. But, I've said it and I said it before, that you have run out of excuses, barring an unbelievable injury bug that bites the team. You have weapons that you need to compete, and now it's the opportunity for you to go do it. And you are now competing with the other schools in the SEC with the talent level that Florida has, and you are bringing back one of the best offensive lines in college football next season. You're bringing back one of the deepest running back rooms in the country, and you have one of the rooms at wide receiver where you have a ton of potential. Now it's a matter of putting it all together. And color me a little skeptical of us being able to do that. But this is the year that I felt most confident on offense of what the Gators are bringing. And I think the defensive side of the ball, I don't think that they're really young. I think that they might be younger than, maybe some other programs, but I don't think that they're young. They played a lot of freshmen. They played a lot of sophomores that are now in these, full-time roles and starting roles, that I think that Florida has a very, very good roster to compete in the SEC this year. And those excuses are done. So this is your chance to go out and prove some of these people wrong that maybe aren't thinking as highly about the Gators. Vegas still has Florida at 6.5 to 7.5, depending on the sports books and wins. Josh Pate has Florida all the way up at number 9. So somewhere in between there is probably where Florida's going to lie. But we're out of excuses now. We can't keep blaming everything else. We've got to start winning ball games.
Nope. They've had time to build a roster exactly what they set out to do. You know, you gotta give Billy credit for that. He said he wanted to build it through the high school ranks, supplement here and there with, you know, the portal. We was getting a little impatient. Like, why isn't Billy going after the biggest stars in the portal? And why aren't we going portal heavy like other teams? Now this is the year 4. It's all your guys, no Dan Mullen excuses. So, and I look at the roster as just a fan of football. Like, if the roster was terrible, I'm gonna look at it and say, man, what the hell Billy done put together here? When you look at it, it's like, nah, I don't want to lose none of these guys. Like, we got when the portal opened, I was like, who do I want to push out? Who I can get rid of? And for the most part, I'm like, man, nah, I really don't want to lose none of these guys. We got a good roster.
Just in case someone get hurt or something, I got a very solid backup. I love where we at right now.
For sure.
And I love where we're at. You know, we got the Michigan punter. We got a great kicker. You know, I think we've got a lot of weapons on the field. So I'm a little skeptical just because I've seen what I've seen the last 3 years, but I've never felt more confident on the offensive side of the ball than I do right now.
Right.
Number 2, baby.
What has me happy in that, like, obviously over the past decade, UF offense has been the problem with why we haven't been successful. Defense has always been there through a lot of years. Even when Muschamp wasn't here, the defense was still managing to hold up and carry the team to where it needed to be in my time there. So just knowing where the offense is at, where it's at now, and knowing that college and NFL is becoming a very offensive-driven league, whatever you want to call it, program, I feel like we're in a good spot where we can compete with the best now offensively. And then the Florida defense can come into it. Because like we said, our defense is young, but I don't necessarily think it's so young to where they're like, oh, we're going to be making bonehead mistakes. Obviously, football is football. You're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be 100% perfect. Those dudes on scholarship, too, they're going to get their plays where they make plays and stuff like that. But overall, I think with the guys we got coming back on defense, we can be a real problem to a lot of people in that, like, they understand gap responsibility. They understand where they need to be and how I should trust my brother next to me. And, like, that means a lot. And like you said, with Napier kind of going from the high school branch of it to not necessarily building his team off the portal, and that team chemistry is really important in football. Like, I trained this little kid, not to get off subject, but he asked me, like, what's the difference between college and the pro? I'm saying college is like, obviously with the transfer portal, it's a little bit different now, but in college, it's like having that team bond and like that real chemistry with each other kind of helps you get over that hump and get to that next level. I say oftentimes you lose that as you get higher in the level of play because dudes feel like, I'm in the NFL, man, like whatever, we grown, man, we need to come to work and go home. It's only a few teams that have that like real team chemistry kind of build to where you feel like we're all working together and we in this together and you fighting for your brother. So the fact that he's building his team off of a high school type of branch, I love that.
Yeah.
Because obviously all these boys feel real close to each other. Y'all boys can say like, man, we was the whatever draft class. Like, man, we need to show that this our year or whatever. Like, even with that, just imagine Jaden Ball's year when all his dudes that he came in with are seniors. Like, how they feeling, what all they've been through over the past years. Like, that type of chemistry in that room will make them boys feel like, man, do it for your seniors, do it for your brothers, and everybody else kind of feeling that and kind of be like, damn, you know what, I'm going to go hard for this senior because when I'm a senior, I want the boys that's in here to be going hard for me for my last year. Like, I feel like that's going to play a big role in UF football and building that great tradition back into where we need to be. So I'm real confident in this year and how we could do that.
Yeah, what you're saying is what I spoke with Pate about. I think it's one of our advantages, right? Is when you build it through the high school ranks, like every player that lost to Miami last year still got that taste in their mouth. They didn't enter the portal. We ain't got a bunch of new guys that's coming in that didn't lose to Miami last year that we asking to start, right? So you still from season to season, there's carryover of we're not going to do what we improved last year's building upon, right? And I think a lot of like the NFL aspect you're saying is entering college football where everybody's paid merchants.
Right.
It's like we're losing that school pride, right? That 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 rivalry. You're
Right.
losing
You
that a
don't even
little
care
bit.
about playing Florida State. You don't care about
It
playing
doesn't.
Tennessee.
If you're
You
a
don't
paid
really
merchant, you're coming in 1 year. What is a Georgia or Florida State to you? It's just another game, right? You're just getting paid to play and win a game. But when you're there from a freshman to a sophomore to a junior year, and you're losing to a team, and you're feeling that rivalry from year to year, it's a little bit different. You're bringing passion to the game. When passion tap in, it's a thing that's stacked on top of talent that you just can't measure. You feel me? So I do think that's one of our advantages, that we're not implementing 20, 30 new guys into this locker room. This locker room, for everybody that we're counting on, they had to go through the mud last year. They had to go through the rigors of what it felt like. And I see that vision of what Billy, if you don't see that vision of it, you just lost a little bit. Like, we could be critical of the guy where he's lacking that in-game coaching, but from a program building standpoint, like, Billy got the formula. He's got a good blueprint on how to build a sustainable program that cares, right? And that want to be a Gator. He's out to certain type of dudes, bro. And I can see the vision. They just got to win the games. Like, even from a leadership standpoint, and I don't want to get too long-winded here, but from a leadership standpoint, both sides of the ball, when you look at our winning years, when you had guys on both sides of the ball that were just bona fide leaders. Now I look at the defensive side of the ball, it's just bona fide leaders on that side of the ball, young and old. You go from Tyreek Sapp all the way down to Miles Graham. You got guys that are alpha leaders. Offensive side of the ball, same exact thing. You got alpha leaders that are about winning. It ain't no me first culture. So I see what he's building.
Yeah.
You know, and I think DJ Lagway is the type of quarterback to be able to catapult his play calling. Russ Callaway, who's over calling the plays, I think Lagway is good enough to make it look better than what it really is. So we'll see how it all plays out. But the season, the talent, the schedule, I ain't even mad at the schedule. None of that scared me. It didn't scare me last year. Yeah, line it up. Like, you got to show me. Everybody got new quarterbacks. I like my new quarterback. Show me your running back room better than mine. You know, what did your team go through last year? Was it a cakewalk for you if you was Texas? It was kind of a breeze for you a little bit. You made it to the playoffs. Wasn't as successful as you wanted to be, but you was there. I think we got a hungry team, young boys that are ready to prove themselves, bro. Yeah. The coach, he got to be ready to prove himself as well. He got to prove himself right. So it's set up. It's win, lose, or draw this year, bro.
I'm hoping so, man. Hoping so. All right, guys. I think that brings us to the end of our show today. Almost 2 hours. We appreciate all of you guys for watching. If you are on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate you each and every week. If you're on X, Twitter, hit that retweet button, and we appreciate you guys listening. It brings us to the end of the show. Any final thoughts?
Only final thoughts I got. Gator Media Day, Gator Independent Media Day. Y'all make sure y'all pull up. We at Magnitude Brewery. First Magnitude Brewery. I'm sorry. First Magnitude Brewery, home of Steve Spurrier's beer and many more beers on tap. Beautiful establishment inside and out. We're going to be outdoors, indoors. We're going to have some Mist fans for you guys. But it's High Top Sports, Gator Breakdown, Stadium Miguel, all in one spot. We're bringing on some smaller platforms. If you got a platform you want to join, hit us up. We're also taking sponsorships and opportunities. If you want to partner in any type of way, hit us up. Email is right there. You can hit up Dave or you can hit up Shelton as well. It's all love, man. Let's collaborate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. We hope that you can make it. Like I said, or Corey said, it is a family-friendly event and a great place to be. They do have food. They have drinks, or food options. They have drinks. They have, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages for you guys. And we want to make the event for you guys, not just for us. So we appreciate everybody for watching. Song of the week, Treaty Oak Revival, a great country music band. They have a song called Missed Call. That's a good one. So we will see you guys same corner, same time next week, and we might be back to 4. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys.
Let's go.